thanks everyone for joining us. This two-part CANIE live series was created in partnership with the GREEN program, and it focuses on helping to understand the intersections of climate change, racial and social justice, and international education. So today's event is titled Collaborative Solutions for Climate Justice Challenges in International Education. And part 2 is going to focus on using this knowledge and experience you have from any and or all of those 3 intersections or beyond to work through international education scenarios together in breakout rooms and on Jamboard. So my name is Ine Williams, otherwise known as Ine, and I'm going to be one of your hosts today, but also a facilitator in one of the breakout rooms. I'm joining you again from Maricopa, Arizona, and this is the original lands of the Akmel Adom, so I would like to honor and pay my respects to them as the traditional owners and custodians of the lands here, and then extend my respects out to any traditional custodians and owners of the lands you may be coming in from. So CANIE, as you may already know, stands for the Climate Action Network for International Educators. We're going to be doing a lot of action together today. Key to CANIE's mission and values is creating spaces and opportunities to network with colleagues, access free resources, highlight and uplift voices, and work together to become a climate conscious, racially and socially just international education sector that inspires individual and collective climate action. So learn more about CANIE at can-ie.org and the GREEN program at thegreenprogram.com. We'll make sure to add those links to the chat and then post event. So today, briefly, I'm going to let you know we're going to give everyone here a chance to connect. You're going to be working together. You're going to be working out, hacking, conversations, brainstorming, and trying to learn from one another and come back together to share some insights from each group experience. To get us ready for that, we have back again, Melissa Lee, CEO and founder of the GREEN program. I just want to remind you before I pass on the mic to her, that today's event is being recorded, but when you are in the breakout rooms, that section will not be recorded. So that's just going to be a nice, free, safe space for you to talk with your colleagues there. And only the main room areas will be recorded. All right, Melissa, I'm going to pass the mic on to you. You can share your screen and we'll get started with the intro.
Great, Ine, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. It's good to see so many of you back again. I'm going to share my screen if you just allow me one moment. Okay, so today we are going to be breaking out into breakout rooms. We will, I'll explain this a little bit more, but this is a chance to be networking and working directly with colleagues in the field who you may not even know. Last session, we had people from nearly 50 countries attend, so we're really thrilled to get you all connected even more. And what our team has done is identify several real life scenarios that either we've seen happen on programs, had real life experience with, or have been inspired by other real life events that we wanted to use as case studies for you all to address together. So this is what it's going to look like. In each of your room, you will have a facilitator. The facilitators will have a group number next to their name, and we will introduce ourselves in the beginning so you know who that person is. But just to give you an example, run through of what this group is going to look like and the exercise is going to look like, I'm going to bring you through what we're going to call the golden circle exercise. And I'm going to take us back a few months in this scenario and actually use the GREEN program and CANIE's event that you're all in right now and the golden circle that started this whole event too. Okay, so we're going to reverse engineer this a little bit, but bear with me, it'll all come together in a bit. So all of your groups will have a scenario on the first page. Scenario is, it's summer of 2020. The interconnected fields of sustainability and education are undergoing a tumultuous period of transition and change as we face global challenges, new and old. From COVID-19 and its meandering impacts to political turmoil, a rise of racial injustices, and increased tension worldwide, to the unique set of challenges we must face within the UN's SDGs framework, we as educators must ensure that we do not fall behind in our mission to achieve a sustainable and just future in this unique and challenging time. So the challenge is, how do we take action to address the rising tide of challenges of environmental justice in the field of international education? So this is the real life scenario that Green Program and CANIE were faced with, earlier in 2020. And most of us in our positions and fields will be faced with situations like this, whether we have already in the past or upcoming. So how do we work through these scenarios, right? So you will all have this framework again on this, your own set of challenges in here. I'm going to treat this also as a mini tutorial for how to use Jamboards. This is Google Jamboard. So for those of you who have not used it, this is going to be a quick little intro. Right up to the top here, you'll see the arrows. I'm going to go over to the next slide. You're going to see what's the golden circle. So Simon Sinek is a leadership expert, and he basically was able to narrow down all the skill sets, the best skill sets and frameworks into a very simple tool for driving purpose into action. And I think that's a big missing piece, and why Green Program has been so excited to work with CANIE to take action and empower more action in the fields. So this is a snippet of the golden circle and what we're going to be using to hack our scenario challenges. You're always going to start with the why. So you're going to ask yourself, why? Why is the purpose, cause, or belief? And why do you do what you do? So in this scenario, we're going to say, why is this scenario, that was on slide number 1, why is this scenario an environmental justice issue? And in the first 5 minutes of your group session, you'll see this toolbar right here. You're going to click a sticky note. It's a digital notepad brainstorming session, basically. So I'm going to put idea, test, and I can just keep hitting enter and keep my ideas coming like this. You'll also note that I have different color keys here. There's going to be probably around 10 of you in each group. So this is how we want to make our ideas organized, okay? So then why is that scenario connected to international justice? That's what I'm going to put in there. And then how, that's what I'm going to create my own sticky notes in that 5 minutes as well. I'm going to create my how sticky note. I'm going to pop that right in the how. And then how, just to go over this, is how do you do this? How do you create that change? And then we're going to go into what is this actual thing that you're going to do, right? Is it a product? Is it a policy? What is the end product that everyone sees in order to create change and take action? So this is how we hacked this and use the golden circle. This is our real life example. Hopefully you all can see this. I can make them bigger. So starting with the why, number 1, we need to take action to create progress for a sustainable future. Very, very simple. That was a core to our why. Another why, we aren't talking about this enough in the industry. Environmental justice and sustainability affects everyone. It will require all of us to be a part of the solution. So why aren't we talking about it? We need to talk about it now. So those are the driving factors of why we wanted to start this live event series. I'm sure there's many more. Those are 2 examples. Then I branched out into the how. How are we going to do it? Well, we're going to do what we do best as educators. We're going to educate, advocate, and take action. Let's join forces with like-minded organizations to highlight the intersections of international education and climate justice. We acknowledge that there's an educational part there as well. And then we want to bring motivated international educators together to learn and take action towards environmental justice in their roles. How we're going to do it? Create a panel, event. Let's do a design, some materials, content creation. We'll have a great Zoom link going with registration links. These are all part of the how we're going to do that, right? And then what is it? That's what you're all in and experiencing with us right now. It's a 2-part live event series for international educators to advance their awareness and action for environmental justice in the international education field. Okay, so this was a 5-minute my own brainstorm rapid fire. Grammar doesn't matter in brainstorming. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're striving for progress, not perfection here in sustainability and action towards these conversations. So this is just an example. Each group, after the 5 minutes, you will need to be opening it up for discussion, and your facilitator will help you with that. When you open it up for discussion, please identify a sharer or someone who can take notes and then report back after the session ends too. You'll have 20 minutes to 20 to 25 minutes to share amongst your group your why, how, and what. You'll see for the same example, the same scenario, there might be so many different whys, so many different hows, and so many different whats too, which is the beauty about this. There's so many options. We just need to pick one direction and be able to and start making that progress towards this, right? So whoever's taking notes on this page, just a tutorial here, you'll see this toolbox for text. Click anywhere, and I can start taking my notes. Fonts up here, you can be playing around with. Have fun with it. Treat it like a brainstorm. It does not need to be perfect, but we do need to be able to understand it and be able to report back afterwards. As the last few pages, you will have a few of these open spaces for any of you who do want to use that space on your own as well. This will be a live document within your group, so you will be seeing a lot of post-it notes popping up throughout the session as well, and we're excited to go through those together. If anyone has questions, please ask your facilitator as well. We want to make sure we can maximize the time that you have in each of your groups too. But we're looking forward to seeing all of your golden circles for environmental justice. Thanks.
Thank you, Melissa. This is great. I'm very excited to get involved with everyone and see what kinds of ideas we can come up and what kinds of actions we can inspire together. So what's going to happen now is we have someone behind the scenes, CJ, the extraordinaire, and she's going to help us get everyone into breakout rooms. So you're going to automatically go into a breakout room that's been pre-assigned, and then a facilitator will join you there as well. So the facilitator's name should already be up, and we can go ahead and we'll go over and get started with you there. All right, CJ, if you're ready, you're welcome to go ahead and put us out there into the breakout room space.
Absolutely. Just finishing up the assignments. I thought maybe while I was finishing this up, every person could give a quick intro, all of our facilitators, 1 through 8, no so everybody could know who's here. And then by the time that's done, I'll have everyone assigned.
Okay, that sounds like a great plan. Okay, so let's see here.
Courtney, room 1.
Yep.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Courtney. I am with the GREEN program. I'm the Assistant Director of Global Enrollment.
And Ine.
Hello, I'm Group 2. I'm Ine. I'm going to be your facilitator as well as the moderator for today's event.
And I'm Adrian, so I'll be facilitating Group 3. And I can tell you a little bit more about myself when we get in the room, but I'm a board member at CANIE and super excited to be working with all of you and working with TGP, the GREEN program, with all of these events.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elise. I'm Group 4. I work with CANIE. I help to do their marketing and their design. So excited to meet you all.
Hi, everybody. I'm Megan Swanek. I'm the Director of University Partnerships with the GREEN program. I'm going to be leading Group 5 and just want to thank all of you for coming today to join us in this conversation.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jess, and I will be facilitating Group 6. I work with the GREEN program, and I am the Community Engagement and Operations Coordinator for TGP. Thanks for all being here.
Hi, everyone. Again, Melissa, founder and CEO of the GREEN program, and I'll be working with Group 7.
Hi, everyone. My name is John Rick. I work with the GREEN program as the Assistant Director of Global Enrollment. Excited for everyone that gets into Group 8.
I'm excited for everyone who gets into Group 8 now, but they're all going to be awesome, and I'm about to send you off. So enjoy, and we're looking forward to regrouping in about 20-25 minutes. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Not enough time.
Back.
Oh my
God. I know
God.
there's a tremendous amount of power in being the breakout room person, but there's also, it's not power that I love because I'm breaking apart these incredible conversations.
Yeah.
So
barely.
I know. So everyone has sort
time
of
goes by.
come back to the space. Time goes by so quick. So yeah, I will hand it back over to you. Everyone sort of rejoined. And I'm super keen. I was like in here with a few stragglers, but I'm like super keen to hear what everybody came up with. So Ine, back over to you.
Hi, CJ. You can see me shaking my head. wow, there were so many good things coming out of the group I was in, and it feels like we just didn't have enough time to delve in and get to the meat of it all. Or I'm like veggie based, so the not meat of it all. But in any case, I think right now what we're going to need to do is, I don't know how it went for everyone else, but we ran out of time and we didn't get everything completely organized. So I'm going to be taking some notes in the back end. And group one, what I'd like to do is, if you've already identified a particular person to speak on behalf of the group, or if the facilitator will do so, then please go ahead and prepare. And what we can do is share the screen for the specific Jamboard that's going to be speaking. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you, facilitator of that room, to share your screen so that we can see what you're talking about, and whoever's going to speak for group one to speak on behalf.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. We're group one. I believe Rosalind will be sharing. And so I'm going to just share my screen so everybody can see our key takeaways.
Is it possible to share the scenarios, or
Oh, yes, absolutely. So I'm actually going to then read the scenario really quickly. So for breakout room one, the scenario was, it's 2022. You're back on campus and planning your university's next study abroad fair. You're returning from CANIE and TGP's International Education and Environmental Justice events and are determined to take action in your role. How do you ensure that your marketing apparatus and the travel providers, community members, and students attending will adhere to responsible practices that account for environmental justice issues? Who are the decision makers? And how do you relay the urgency of sustainable policy change on campus? Good one, right? And then so going back to our key shared takeaways, Rosalind, did you want to share?
Sure. So we looked at the situation from a top-down and a bottom-up type of a context. From the bottom up, you start with the international office. You start to think in terms of guidelines. You then move it along the track through different committees, getting approval each step of the way, eventually ending up with the board, getting approval. So then that becomes your framework to work with. And then you apply that framework to the providers, to the students, to the context. The other way, I guess that's top down, but it's also bottom up because it starts with grassroots. The other way would be to have the students create the demand, because one of the things that we talked about was that you can have all these guidelines, but if the students don't adhere to it, then you're not going to have the success that you need. So if you start with the students, get the buzz, get the students to demand that this is the kind of programs they want, this is kind of the directions and the policies that they want, you can then start to implement that with perhaps a greater amount of success. You then bring that into different campus policies. You bring it, as I say, a theme for the year that you're building, get generated ideas at different venues on the campus. And so then you create the change as it happens. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, can you, Courtney?
Yes, we're all set. Thank you, Rosalind.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen for group 2. That's the group I was facilitating in. And we'll go take a look at some of the notes. I got a few notes in there real quick. Let's see. All right, and this is a challenging one because essentially there's a lot of components to it. So I'll read it really quickly. There's an international student studying abroad in the host country, a host community. He takes the bus daily to get to school, and during an advising appointment, he mentions he had some strange experiences while riding the bus. He sits down on the bus, but no one wants to sit next to him, even though the bus is often crowded and people will fill the other empty seats. First, he thinks this might be isolated, but then it keeps occurring, which leaves him confused. One day, he encounters a woman from his home country who uses a bus to get to and from work. They sit together and discuss the community and his experience. He's lived in the USA for a number of years, and she describes him as a form of racism towards Black people. He feels uncomfortable, but needs to take the bus to get to school. Why is this a climate justice challenge? What could you do to address it for this student and future students? And how could you implement a solution? Who might be your partners and allies in this effort? So we didn't identify a person who would speak. We were literally spending time just trying to break this down and figure out how it was climate justice related. So let's go ahead and I will take a look at the notes that this is kind of where we got in the starting point of everything, and to kind of summarize a few things here. And I'm sorry I'm speaking on behalf of the group, but since we didn't assign someone, I just wanted to make sure we have enough time. So the main component that came up with the why was access to transit. That in this scenario, the student has identified they have to use the bus to get to school. And also another character in the scenario, if you will, the woman that he met had to use the bus to go to work. So this access, transit access, having access to things that you need is a justice component. We didn't specifically address the racism component in that scenario, but this was the first piece. And then student-centered transit options would be the how. How do you deal with this why? Create some student-centered transit options. And one person noted, not only does that address the issue for this individual student, it potentially could help other students that you haven't encountered, and maybe make some new choices for students that they were maybe previously unaware of. That was mentioned in our discussion. And then the what was what action would you take? And one person had suggested, well, we could provide uni buses to transport students and save them from using their cars if they have them, and also reducing parking on site in that way. Someone else mentioned a bike system that they had used previously. That could be another way, but also the issue of accessibility. Can everybody use the bikes? And so the final solution was that there need to be multiple options in this case. So that was what we got to in this exercise. So, all right.
Okay.
And group 3?
Yeah, so I was the facilitator for group 3. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And what I'll do is just go through the scenario quickly and then pass it over to Carmen, who will summarize. So I won't read it, but essentially we had a student group arriving in their host country after a long day of travel. They just threw their things in their room, took a shower, and tried to get ready for the next day. One of our students, while she was in the shower, she heard yelling in her hotel room. The hotel staff came in and were yelling at her to get out of the room because they needed to prepare it for the next guest. So she put on a towel to try to figure out what was going on. They gave her a short period of time to put clothes on, and then they made her leave the room. And so it was a big misunderstanding. And it was isolated to this one student who happened to be the only Black student on the program. And the campus partners with this hotel in particular because of their sustainable practices. This is our board. And I will go ahead and turn it over to Carmen to tell us more about what we discussed.
Thank you, Adrian. At the beginning, mostly of the team were wondering, why is it a sustainable problem? But talking all together, we get to the point that discrimination, racism, and gender are a social issue, but it interconnects with the environment in the end. It is all related. Our how, we decided that we can educate the hotel around what is sustainability and how it interconnect, because this hotel says that they are being green by maybe using less water, or maybe they have their own farming system, but they are not, they are being racist, and they are there is discrimination. So we decided we could do some workshops about sustainability, and that being green isn't only about the environment, it is around everything and it is interconnected.
Thank you, Carmen, for being our fearless leader.
Thank you, that was great. Group, the next group, please.
Okay, so group number 4, I'll share my screen.
And I'll start us off because I know we're time. So why you have to share our scenario first.
Yeah, I'll read it real quick.
Jumped it, sorry.
That's all good, you're ready to go. You're passionate about reducing GHG emissions and equally passionate about the transformative educational impact of overseas study and travel. So you do all you can to promote study abroad. You feel uncomfortable trying to persuade students to opt for virtual international experiences instead of physical ones, or to travel to countries closer to home in order to reduce the carbon emissions involved because you don't want to undermine their enthusiasm for traditional study abroad. You champion carbon offsets as a solution, but your colleagues are lukewarm. What do you do? Go ahead, Angela.
So we kind of discussed why is this important, and then also why is it environmental justice? And some of the previous groups sharing their points make me find the connections. But that equitability is in all of this. So if you rely on mobility, what does that mean for other students? Increasing why is this environmental justice? Because climate change affects everyone, and it's all interconnected. And how do you show your lukewarm colleagues that it even affects them in a social justice and environmental justice way? And then how we talked about embracing virtual programming, getting student input, collaborating across disciplines, across offices and departments, and then again, connecting the links to climate justice and local community, to the curriculum of all programs. And then what's that you could do, survey the students to get their input, offer guided reflection for people to see how they are connected to it, offer more internships to students, create a web page for climate and study abroad. I didn't throw it in that final page, but also linking if your university or organization has any sustainability goals and commitments, and using those to embrace climate environmental justice.
Awesome, thanks, Angela.
Thanks. Okay, we're ready for group 5. Quick recap of the scenario and then dive in.
Do we have time? You guys want me to go rapid fire through it? I do talk fast, so I could fit it in. Okay. So group 5, hi again, everybody. I'm Megan Sponek with the Green Program. It's day 5 of a program in a city known for heavy pollution. Student A has been feeling sick from the pollution since they arrived and have not been themselves. They already mentioned to the faculty member that they may want to return home. During a class session, student B, a local student, provides a solution to help. Student A responds saying, "What do you know? It's your own people's fault that there's so much pollution here." Student C, an international student from the same university and from the same host country, overhears the comment and takes major offense. How do you de-escalate and address? What are some things that could have been considered in advance? So for our solutions, you can see some of our stickies here, which we'll share with everybody. But here's some main takeaways, and I'll just share for time what we found. So some key things that people came up with, and something we really honed in on, was the importance of educating about this topic and what to expect, and preparing students to navigate a location that might have heavy pollution and consider why that is and how they might contribute to that before they actually go abroad. So addressing pollution and the intersection of economics and politics should be done pre-departure. Trying to encourage empathy and understanding for things that impact certain communities and locations, and in particular understanding how and why that is, and anything. This first person was sending students from the US. And so she mentioned having those students think about how they might be contributing to that pollution that's happening somewhere else. making sure students feel heard and are listening, working with that faculty member to make sure they're playing a leadership role in directing the situation into a more positive outcome where people are listening to each other and trying to learn about why this issue is happening, how they contribute to it, how to better navigate it, thinking about micro and macro levels of that pollution issue. Again, just honing in on preparation and educating before students go abroad to a location that might have pollution issues, and this could happen. And again, one final point, just using this as a learning opportunity. This was an interesting point someone brought up, to develop more connections with local action groups that the university already has that are working on climate issues to help educate about this. So big focus on educating and thinking about the big picture of why this community is suffering with these pollution issues is a big part of what we got out of this.
Thank you so much, Megan. Everyone, unfortunately, we are almost out of time, so we want to make sure that we wrap everything up within the hour period that we have. For the final groups that didn't get a chance to share, I apologize. We're gonna share this out with everyone, so do not worry. We're gonna create PDFs of all of the Jamboards and share that out with y'all. We'll share the scenarios. We hope that we can have an event in the future that will focus more in depth and more time. We really appreciate everyone. Some of these scenarios were super challenging to navigate, so I can see the struggles people had. That's half the battle in something like this, is getting through and envisioning and practicing, seeing yourself taking this action. So we as international educators, if we start to practice like this, we can start to take those actions and feel more confident about those pieces. So let me go ahead and just remind you that CANIE, right? Climate Action Network for International Educators, has that word action in it. You were part of today's action. Just by being here today to learn more, get to meet colleagues, get to think about things differently. And the most important action anyone can take is to just get started. So if this was your very first step, congratulations. And there's many, many more to come. And as you consider your next course of action, I hope some of the experiences you had today and the connections that you were able to make, even if it was just very briefly, can help to inspire you. Today's event doesn't have to be the last time you connect with anyone you might have met in this event. You can go and connect with us on the CANIE discussion board. That's one place. And you can stay connected through some of the information we'll be sending out to you, such as the newsletter and any summaries of information and resources from today's event. The partnership that we've had with the Green Program to plan and develop this two-part series was amazing. So thank you very much to the Green Program for making it possible for us to work together on this. And some of the additional Green Program and CANIE team members that were part of this facilitation today, we want to thank everyone, even those who were not here today, for their part in developing, planning, and supporting this event. And then I just want to remind you that you can also connect on other sources of social media, such as Twitter, and I mentioned LinkedIn already, and Facebook. There's also a CANIE podcast. So if you like to hear from other colleagues, that's another great way for you to learn more about climate and international education and the intersections. So before I leave, I want to give Melissa a chance to come back and share with you as well her thanks for today.
Thank you, Ine. The only thing that I'll add to what Ine said is I do want to challenge everybody here, because you took out an hour of your time today to hack, and brainstorm. And I don't know how often we get to do that together and just, be in a no judgment zone, a safe place to be able to talk and unpack and even say, like, I really don't understand how this is even connected at all. So that's such a great step. And please note that the people in this room and the organization and the members of CANIE, our partners with the Green Program, like, these are all people that we hold near and dear to our heart that we continue to reach out to. So I want to let you all know, we're all here to continue these conversations and challenge everybody to don't just check off the action box today because we did a Jamboard session for 20 minutes. Please think hard about these topics. These Jamboards are still accessible to you to keep revisiting. It's a tool. On every Green Program, we use this golden circle for all of our students' sustainability innovation projects. So it's such a great platform that you can bring into any idea that you have. So it's a tool, it's practice. Please keep strengthening this muscle and keep the conversations going. If you'd like to learn more about the Green Program, we're at thegreenprogram.com. We have an awesome Global Sustainability Expo coming up tomorrow. I think Jess dropped the link in the chat box. Students, faculty, are all welcome to join us to see a little bit more about our programs as well. But thank you so much to the CANIE team for this partnership, and we're so excited to see you all again soon. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
And thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for engaging today, and we'll see you at the Green Program event, Melissa. So thanks again for the invite.
See you tomorrow.
All right, everyone. Take care. Have a great one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.